Baruch haba, and welcome to another Alef Tav treasure. This treasure is going to tie the Alef Tav, who is Yeshua, to a consuming fire, Ha'esh, and as the fiery Seraph, or the Alef Tav, Hanahashim, the fiery serpents, Has Raphim, or Seraph, plural. This is also plural. And hey just means thee. Alright, let's get cracking. We're going to go to Numbers 21:6 first, and then we're going to hit Numbers 26 verse 10. So, Numbers 21 verse 6 says, So Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Et Han Hashim Has Raphim, or fiery serpents. Which makes me think, how well do you really know Yeshua? Seems he was instrumental in drawing the people back onto the path. And then we got Numbers 26 verse 10, which says, And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah when that company died, when the fire devoured, or the fire that consumed 250 men, and they became a sign. Ba'achol, which is into the eating or consuming. Ha'esh, Alef Tav, which is Yeshua. So he is the fire that consumes. And the fiery serpents. So when people got off the path that they were supposed to be on, or were complaining, I'll show you how they were complaining back here in 21:6. A couple of verses before, it says, Then they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom, and the soul of the people became very discouraged on the way. And the people spoke against Elohim and against Moshe. Why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loathes this worthless bread. So Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people. But then, to save them from the fiery serpents, it says in verse 8 of 21, Then Yahweh said to Moshe, Make a seraph, literally, and set it on a pole, and it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live. So Moshe made a bronze serpent, or a Nahoshet, and put it on a pole. And so it was, if a serpent had bitten anyone, when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived. So, when the people complained and got off the path of righteousness, Yahweh basically sent Yeshua to get them back on the path. And when they looked at the serpent, or the fiery serpent, the bronze serpent, whatever you want to call it, in the wilderness, then they were saved. So, the Lord sends, let's say he chastises his people, but he also gives them a way out of it as Yeshua. And to tie this in with the New Testament, we're going to go to John 3:14, which says, And as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so the Son of Man be even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. So when we get off the path, off of righteousness, we just need to look to Yeshua to be saved. Yahweh gives us redemption in Yeshua. And we'll also go to John 12:32, which says, "And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all to myself." People's is in italics, so somebody added it later. So he literally says, "And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all to myself." So anyone who wants to be saved just needs to look to Yeshua and then follow him. And then Numbers 26:10. Go back to that. As Yeshua being the consuming fire. We're not going to go to all the biblical references I had for that, but you can look them up yourself. It's Exodus 24:17, Deuteronomy 4:24, Deuteronomy 9:3, and then in Revelation is a consuming fire in chapter 20, verse 9. So that kind of shows that maybe Yeshua is not who we think he is. I mean, he can be harsh is what this says to me, but he also is graceful and forgiving.